everybody, and welcome back to the KLA. I'm your host of the Jason Unfiltered, Jason MF on Instagram. Make sure you guys follow me. Before we get started, I just want to give a quick shout out to our partners, our sponsors. Shout out to Midnight Hour. The progress on the venue in San Fernando is coming great. I can't wait to see it in person. I love the pictures, the murals, everything's going to be really great. If you want to buy records, if you want to be a part of an awesome record label in the Valley, Midnight Hour Records, that's the place to go. Again, I want to make another shout out to Odd Eye Promotions, their music promotion platform that they'll take your music and put it on playlists, and they'll get you guys the organic plays that you need to get your music heard all over the world. So with that being said, welcome to a Jason Unfiltered. I'm unsure about what episode we're on, but that's irrelevant. I'm joined by my awesome guests right over here. If you guys want to introduce yourselves.
I'm Athena. Nice to meet you guys.
My name is Triple Seven Midas. Nice to meet you.
Go. So, tell me a little bit more about who you guys are and what brings you in here today.
Well, I'm Athena, and I just wanted to talk on the podcast and let everyone know me, get to know me and who I am, and talk about my brand and what I have to offer. And then also him supporting my brand as well. So it's fun.
I'm a music producer, but I just came to support my baby today, entertain you guys.
That's love right there. So I'm just gonna hop right into it. So, Athena, Lacey, you are a model. I see you on the gram. You're popping, you're modeling, you're helping our clothing brand, doing all this stuff. But we had a conversation prior about some of your experience, not only as a woman in modeling, but as a black woman in modeling. Your experience with the agencies, your experience with photographers and all that other stuff. So, tell me a little bit about how's your experience been, and how did you get started first?
Okay, well, I got started with my mom from the East Coast. She was a model, and she wanted me to get into modeling. So I was like, okay, I'm like 13 years old. That story. Mom wants me to take on her life. So I ended up doing it, and then I didn't like it, so I was like, look, I want to be a dancer. I got a hip-hop dancer, and then I got into, high school, and I'm just like, you know what? Instead of me dancing, I do want to take modeling serious. Because I started getting taller, so I was like, okay, I can do it. So once I got like 17, 18, I started taking it serious, so that's when I got started. Around modeling. So when I was 17, 18, I started taking it serious. But I started like 12, 13.
So when you say you started taking it serious, what does that mean?
That means like, at first I was like, like I said, my mom wanted me to be a model, I wanted to be a hip-hop dancer. Once I started seeing that, feeling myself, getting into high school, getting taller, I'm like, you know what, maybe I should get into modeling. Because at first it was like so many logistics. You have to be tall, you have to be skinny, and all this other stuff. So I was like, you know what, I think I should give it a try, give it a shot.
So, I've talked to models a lot, a little bit on this podcast. Everybody kind of shares. It's kind of like the dark underbelly of kind of like what modeling is.
Right.
Have you ever had any type of negative experience in a way where it's kind of like, maybe I need to take a step back and reevaluate?
Right.
And how did you
Accomplish that.
yeah, how did you overcome it?
Okay, so there was many occasions that I went I had to bounce back and like, you know what, is this for me? Or should I just give up trying? Because like I said, I started at a young age, and then I went back into it, like, taking it serious, like, oh, I should give it a shot. Probably like starting at 18 years old, I went to all the modeling agencies. Once we moved to Los Angeles, that's when it started hitting me the most. Like, oh yeah, like, you gotta be pretty and wear makeup. The whole LA scene, So once I was like, you know what, let me just try to just do it. Basically, like, I invested in myself. I got the photos I needed. I didn't know anywhere, like, I didn't know where to start. So I got the photos. I started going to like the audition castings and stuff like that. And then a couple of them, they was like, oh, you're too short. And I'm just like, what? I'm like literally what you guys look at every day on And I was like 17, probably like 5'8", I went again, and then I went to the same people, the modeling agencies, and then when I got like 18 and 19, as between that time, I kept going to all the different ones in LA, and then they would just say, "Oh, you're wearing a little too much makeup," and I said, "Okay, so like sorry, but like it's like okay, what is gonna make you guys want me? Like if you guys want me, or why you wouldn't want to change me? You know what I mean?" So I'm just like, you know what, damn, like it's not for me. You know what I'm saying? Because I waited, and then I got the height. I got 5'9" at the time, and I'm 6 feet now, 22 years old. You know, so I was just like, you know what? Okay, it was my height. Now it's my makeup or whatever. It was just like they kept like saying little stuff. So then when I got, I took a break from that, and once I got 21 or 20, I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna go to a different modeling agency. One signed me, they wanted to, fully go through with everything, and then once I, try to do it with them, fall through and everything, and I was like, you know what, maybe we should since we signed you, or before we signed you, or something like that, we want you to change something about yourself. I mean, we want you to be yourself.
What was it that they asked you to change?
So they wanted me. It was crazy. Like I think I have a nice nose, but they wanted me to change my nose if they wanted to sign me. Right?
That's hard.
So I was like 20 years old, and I'm like, damn, like I really want to. Like at the time, Instagram was blowing up. All these girls are getting famous. They're getting noticed. They're getting signed. Like everybody, runway shows, fashion week, all that. So I'm like, damn, like I don't give a fuck. I want to be something. I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna change my nose.
Yeah, I'm
So
glad,
I ended up
you didn't. I feel like
right. I
a
ended
lot
up
of people
taking
try
the
to
deal.
embrace like that inner beauty, be yourself. That's like
Right.
the narrative that's getting pushed now.
Exactly.
But like I feel like even like back then, it was people like you said you're 22, like 4 years ago.
Right.
How much things have changed. And what about mentally? Like,
Oh.
how did that affect you? Like with all I would call it criticism.
Yeah.
With the rejection. How did that play in your mind, being like a young lady? Like what was going on in your head?
Well, like I said, Instagram is really a bad place. No offense. But it had got me some insecurities growing up. And throughout that whole time, I was more tomboyish. Like I said, I was dancing, hip hop dancing. And I had my sister come in, and we went to school together. And she just showed me how to be a girly girl. So that whole time, I'm still on Instagram, looking at girls, they looking pretty. And I'm just like, damn, like, how can I be like that? That's when the insecurities came in. So, like, I'm just like, I have Instagram on me, making me feel like I'm not enough. And then I got these people, the modeling agencies, and all these girls got teeth wide open, and they got their eyebrows, get the London look. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're pretty, but it's just like they embrace it. They didn't change what they were. So I'm like, you know what? Why do they want to change? But how it made me mentally, I just felt really insecure. I just was like, looking at everybody else, like, oh, they look better than me, and stuff like that. And I'm just like, it hurts because, getting turned down is like a big rejection. The cake on the icing.
The icing on the cake.
Yeah, the icing on the cake or the cake on the icing, whatever the hell.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
I mean, thinking about it right now, like I'm obviously not like a modeling or anything like that, but I mean, beauty in the realm of things is so subjective. It's kind of like they're in a position to kind of say like, oh, this is what is beautiful, but in reality, it's kind of like not the truth. So like, if you could change one thing about the modeling industry right now, the beauty industry, like what would be something that you would change?
Well, I would change accept everybody, that's one. And then two, like I still do agree with the casting calls and stuff like that, but don't make people waste their time when they like fly somewhere or they lose weight or they fit what you want and then you turn them down again. Give everybody a chance. So I just believe in giving people a chance.
So what is your opinion on like plus size models, curvy models? Yeah, like what do you think that's doing right now for the industry?
I mean, I like it. Because before, remember, they was like praising skinny sticks, little bit. I was a skinny stick, but I got some meat, so I guess I'm like a slim model now. But I like it. Like crazy.
And where are you at now within like your modern career after like overcoming all that? Where are you at? What would you say is your position?
So I still model. I'm still building up my whole thing. I lost my Instagram like last year. I know you. Wow. But I just focus on being a businesswoman now. So I still do modeling, but like I said, it still put an effect through that whole time because I'm like 6 feet, and I went back there to the same people, which was it's just like you try to show these people that yeah, look, I did what you want, type of thing. You know what I mean? So I did it exactly
Like,
every day.
even these girls that are like quote unquote real now, when you look at them, it's like they're still getting their noses done, but then they're leaving the gap. It's like, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
You want a fake real. You know, you don't want a real real.
Right.
That airbrush kind of like
Look.
everybody's perfect. In reality, I feel like models should embrace more like that imperfection. But that's just my take. Because I'm a real person. I'm not like a fake person.
Exactly.
I would like to see that.
I was gonna say the truth of the matter is overall, right? Like what really makes somebody beautiful is if they're able to take the person that they really are from the inside and manifest that outside. And nobody ever tells you that. You know what I mean? So I feel like they put up those fake things. Like, say for instance, I know there are tons of like big guys that are actually very, very attractive people. But, when you put that scale on a big guy, like, oh, you have to have 12 pack, oh, you have to do this and that. Of course they're gonna be trying to live up to unrealistic expectations. But girls don't even want that. you know?
Girls do want big guys, medium guys, guys with bellies, like the whole thing. Like
The same way guys want big girls,
They want
medium
what's in
girls,
the
whole
heart.
nine. It's just all about personal
Right.
preference.
How do you think that translates into like the music industry, like in terms of that like face value?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Oh,
the
yeah,
music,
you can.
man, the music industry is just as bad, as any other industry, film industry, everything, A, B, C, D. But what ticks me off about the music industry is that a lot of times talent doesn't even matter.
It's TikTok.
Yeah.
Everything
Well,
else.
I feel like it even started before TikTok. I feel like it was like the late 90s, early 2000s era that everything kind of got warped. You know what I think it is? I think it is the fact that back in the day, we couldn't easily, we didn't have a lot of access to recording technology.
Yeah.
So back in the day, when you only had one take to record a song, or you had an 8-track, and you had 8 tries to do it, or you had to erase everything else, or rewind the tape, you had to come in the studio perfect. And so everybody knew in reality that the person that has that voice that everybody loves isn't going to be the best looking person on the side,
Right.
But if you want to hear their voice, you're going to get over that, because you want to hear the music.
Exactly.
Now, because everything is edited in A, B, C, and D, it's like they're just looking for models and people with following, and then they're like, hey, we will build a team around that person to make them sound.
So as a producer, do you think, like I know you said talent doesn't really matter, but do you value talent?
I do. Yeah, I do. When we're taking like our approach, we're making our records, we have like a very Motown-ish approach. We still use like modern production, obviously, but I think the lost art of artist development actually came when we stopped developing characters. Back in the day, even if we just take rap music for example, like Tupac was a character. He followed a certain rule book, and he had guidelines for what he would and wouldn't do, and his persona almost became its own person. And the music just complemented that persona. Nowadays, we don't have personas. We have, hey, throw everything at the wall, and if you get a hit that sticks, then we're going to try it again until we get another one.
And that's how you end up with people like Lil Pump and like 6ix9ine and just
Lil
like,
Nas. No, Lil Bird. That's what I meant.
Lil Uzi pretty talented.
Lil Uzi is pretty talented.
But the thing that you said about the characters, I feel like now it's very cookie cutter. Like you have to be like, all right, right now I think like that punk look is like really in right now. That soft punk skater look.
Homeless look.
The homeless. I don't want to call it homeless, but you're free to call it whatever you want. But like
I love J.
that's
Cole,
the
but he
thing.
look like.
But like now, I just want to bring it in full circle. So like, what if we subjected artists to the same type of criticism that models get? Do you think we would get better artists?
Well, I feel like that's a good question. What do you mean by that question?
So
Can you elaborate?
like she said, like you have to fit this certain criteria for us to like even consider working with you.
Mm.
So like I feel like now anybody can get into the studio and make a song.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
But if you had that guideline where it said no, you have to meet this, do you feel like as a producer you would get better quality artists, better quality talent?
So if you're talking about like the quality of the music, like hey, you have to be able to do A, B, C, and D before I even allow you to get into the studio, I completely agree that would make music 10 times better.
Yeah, and then I have something. I don't think that agrees. Like I don't agree with that because at the same time, there's a many other studios that someone could go to and just go somewhere else. But then if they find somebody that's like that cares about them, because we work with people. Sorry to change the subject, but we work with people that they're telling us a story like, oh yeah, I don't trust certain people because they did me wrong. So now I feel like I gotta be on edge with you.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So that's why I'm like.
I've had, I run a studio. I've had my certain run-ins with people, and it's like I feel like their expectation, their expectation is always like one thing, but then like their work ethic is like a completely other thing, and they don't ever consider the two together. It's like I have this expectation, but they want to be half-assed, or they don't want to live up to what's expected of them because they have like a certain expectation for others. So like vice versa, if you think modeling should be open to everybody, what do you think about like, how everybody goes into the studio, you can like, make them sound with auto-tune and all these different things. If you have anybody modeling, do you think it's okay to like, what do you call it, touch up their stuff, airbrush, Photoshop? What do you think about that?
That's a great question.
No, that's funny as hell.
You want to answer? You want me to?
No, you go ahead.
Okay, so when it comes to music, right? The fact of the matter is when it comes to modeling, yes, there are like ways you can Photoshop a body and ABC. But the difference between music and somebody's looks is that you don't have to Photoshop somebody for them to look good naturally. With music, sometimes you have people who cannot sing, and that's just the truth. And in order for us to make the playing field fair for everybody, you have to allow those people, if we want to make it an open arena where everybody can make music, you have to allow those people to be able to come in and be able to help them so that they have a competitive advantage and they can compete with everybody else. Like I would never put Coily Ray next to Adele and say, who's the better singer? Adele's going to win 10 times out of 10, But does that mean that Coily Ray is a bad artist? No. She just needs more help getting her vision. Now, I don't agree that we should then take that image of Coily Ray after we get her vision out, because music isn't about polishing to make somebody sound good as much as it is getting out your creative process to the best of your ability and getting people to experience that, right? I would not then take that image and then say, okay, your physical image, we have to alter that because it doesn't match your music. And I think that that's where we get lost in translation when it comes to modeling, because you don't have to alter somebody's looks to get that emotion.
And modeling is kind of like only one-dimensional in the way where it's like all you have is the look. They're not hearing your voice. They're not watching you or doing anything. It's a photograph. That's all you have.
Exactly.
Or in some cases, it's like a snippet of a video. Yeah, no, that's crazy. But I one thing that you said, I feel like I kind of disagree with. It's like I'm very selective with the people that I work with, and I have certain criteria. That's why I ask. But do you think like everybody should have a shot, or do you think you have to have it?
So I think that there's this a certain thing that comes with just being a human, and that's that it's always survival of the fittest. In reality, everybody does have a shot. But I mean, William Hung, who did that She Bang song on American Idol, went diamond. You know what I mean? Up and doing that meme song. Now, does that mean that his success is less valuable than somebody's success who we deem is a great recording artist? No. It's vice versa. Everybody has a chance. It's just which lane are you going to take? Which gap are you going to fill inside the timeline that's constantly repeating itself?
Yeah, it's kind of like food, where it's like there's something out there for everybody. You might not like going to Chipotle, but like other people love going to Chipotle.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
And that's why I think that modeling is skewed in that aspect, because it's like if you're a model, there are some people out there who are going to love that person for that person. And even if you deem, the person in the chair, hey, this isn't the most beautiful person to me, you have to remember that opinions are subjective. The same way William Hung isn't for me, but that doesn't mean that there weren't millions of people that loved his song.
Right.
And I would never say, hey, you can't come out because I don't like it. You know what I mean? It's not my decision to make.
And whose decision is it?
I think it's the people's decision. We decide. Yeah, the public decides what we like and what we don't.
Huh. So, you guys mentioned TikTok. How does TikTok kind of play into this?
Play to it and what?
So I mean, Kenny, the guy who's behind the camera right now, he brings up a lot of people who says like, I heard this song because of TikTok. Like people are discovering new music because of TikTok, and
people are getting on Grammys on TikTok.
Yeah, they don't even see you. People are literally just putting songs like on their TikToks. Like I know an artist, his name's Pretty Papes. Like his song was going crazy on TikTok. Everybody was like putting that song on his TikTok, but he wasn't getting it. But they were using it, and I think it goes like, I feel like TikTok. You go, I don't get any rips tonight. You got pretty girls doing that, but are they models?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Does that make them models?
No,
Does that make them artists?
Yeah.
I think that's debatable.
Well, I think any content creator is an artist. Let's just get that out there in general.
Artiste.
There are super famous artists that used to just take a photocopy of the Mona Lisa and draw a mustache on it, and they still got it credited as an artist as well. Anytime that you create something, it's definitely artistry. But what I do believe that TikTok has done is I think that it's leveled the playing field and stopped the record labels from becoming such monopolies. Because
they don't want to have to look for the talent.
Exactly.
They just look at what's popping. Oh, okay, that's an artist. Let's get him in the studio.
Well, that's a different issue than what I'm talking about.
Right, I understand.
But before, I believe that it was a situation where if a record label liked an artist, and it's still like that today, you have to pay politics in the back. If you want to be a number one artist, it's not even about having the biggest fan base. It's about who do you know, how many handshakes have you made, and what relationships you have to hold that record up, right? But I think what TikTok has done, whereas before a record label would just say, hey, we like this artist, and we're just going to buy all the radio stations out until they become number one. Now it's like, what's the radio? This song goes on the radio last now.
Yeah.
And TikTok has given that nobody artist, or no-name artist, an ability to put out a record and have it blow up overnight. Now, where it gets confused is, I feel like people confuse that for saying, hey, well, you have a gazillion videos on TikTok, right? But you're not making any money from it. You're not profiting off of it. You have to understand that the music business is a completely separate side from entertainment in itself. And so I believe that the artists today need to know more about marketing than they do about actual music creation. Because it's about, hey, you do get lucky, and you do beat out all the record labels, and your song blows up overnight. What are you going to do now? And if you don't know what to do, that's the problem. It's lack of knowledge. Because now the record labels are going to swoop in and be like, oh, you don't know what you're going to do, so you going to swim?
You're going to get
or
that TLC deal.
Exactly. Yeah. So we got these TLC deals that we serving hot off the frying pan. You want one? Or you want to go back to living on your mama's couch?
Yeah, that's true. You said something that the music industry is different than the entertainment industry in general. You want to talk a little bit more about that? Like, what's the difference?
So the difference is any other form of entertainment, the actual product that is created is the product that is monetized. So if I was making a movie, I'm selling the actual movie, right? If I was a model, I'm selling my image as a model. As a musician, you're not selling music. You're selling culture. You're selling lifestyle. You're trying to sell emotion. And that's completely different from an actual recorded song that you're putting out.
People gotta fuck with you before they start listening to your music.
Exactly. Because you can put a song out and it can be a phenomenal song, but if people don't fuck with you, nobody's gonna hear it, and nobody's gonna rock with it. Mm-hmm. Or you can be somebody who doesn't have a great song. I didn't think Chef West's song. What was that? Come. Yeah. If I had to put that next to Lil Baby, I feel like Lil Baby's a better artist. But when that song dropped, it was definitely bigger than any Lil Baby song that was out there. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. So you sound like you're talking from experience. What is your background?
Tell the people who is
why they should even care about what you're saying right now.
When you're my face, I'll give a little.
Because I kind of want to segue into the business part.
Exactly.
So tell us a little bit about what you do. What's your bread and butter?
Well, I'm a music producer. I started producing when I was 14. I had a publishing deal with Universal. I was actually supposed to be signed to Universal as an artist with my brother and my cousin, and they ended up turning down the deal. So then we were all stuck in publishing deals because we signed the week before. Which is a whole different story about how this music industry gets you. Because even in order to get out of that deal, I had to write and ghost write and do all this other stuff for all these other people. But I would say the best part about that is that it sharpened my skills. Now I don't even need a pen and pad. I'm going to the studio, I'm like boom, 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 and I got a beat, we're done. You know. So I went from that situation. I used all the money that I was making ghostwriting and producing for other people to pay for college. And then after I graduated from college, my old A&R from Universal had went over to Sony, and then we offered me another situation over here, and I've been able to work ever since.
Okay.
But even in saying all of that, I didn't even start popping as a producer until about like 2-3 years ago. Really, is when it came up. So you're talking about somebody who's been in the industry almost his whole life and haven't even started getting recognition or credit for my work until about 3 years ago, and I'm almost 30 now.
Wow. And what did you learn from all this? Like, what is the main takeaway that you feel like made you who you are today?
But what's the bad too? Because it's a whole lot of.
The main takeaway that I will say, and I'm pretty sure Dina would agree with me, is that no matter what you go through, you have to understand that everything that comes in your life and every obstacle that comes before you inside your life is a learning experience. Right? Things, when people manipulate you or people use you, it's so quick for us to take that victim role. Like, oh, this person got one up over me. Oh, you know what I mean? I should have known better, but he did this to me, so now I'm stuck here for the rest of my life. No, the reason why that happened to you is because there's some growth that you need to do as a person. Right? Because anybody who had enough self-respect or had enough knowledge or invested enough into themselves will never get themselves inside that situation. They would know better when that person came over. So when you get into those situations, you have to step back. I've had a guy take $300,000 over my head. I can't be mad at him. I gotta applaud him because he know how to play the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, if somebody can steal $300K from me, I'm gonna be like, damn, you know, can I buy you coffee? You know, we gotta talk.
Yeah.
So, what about you? You know, what's your bread and butter? What do you do? Why should people care about what you're saying? Tell me a little bit more about you.
Right. Okay. Well, I am an assistant for Midas as well in music. I can talk a little bit what I see on that side.
Oh, she got a story.
Yeah. And then I am in cosmetology school, trying to get my license. And then I also do body school.
Okay.
So, you know, that's in right now.
We'll start from the top. So, as an assistant to Midas, what do you think is the main thing that you focus on? Like, what's
my job?
Yeah, what's your main thing that you do?
Okay, so I'm an assistant, so basically, and I'm like a dot connector, if you could say. I usually go out and we go to events, I network, he networks, or mainly my job, basically, because obviously we do it together, but I usually just set up stuff. If he can't do it right now, I'll do it. Setting up calls and making sure things are good.
So you're like that filter before they get to him.
Yeah, so they gotta come to me. Like everybody, y'all gotta
Good
be
to have that person.
Not only that, but I even think like going into the whole relationship aspect of it, I appreciate it so much for just being my extra eyes and ears in the room. Because guys and girls,
let's leave that at the business though.
Yeah.
Because relationship and business sometimes don't mix.
No, of course.
Because they could be like, I could be in the relationship side, but that bitch is looking at you, which it has happened, and I'm like, yo, why the fuck is this bitch like? I can cuss, right? Okay, so why this bitch is looking at you?
But what I was saying.
And then if I go on a business like, yo, she's trying to check for you. She is really, she's trying to like butter you up because she wants a free song.
That's what I was gonna say.
You know what I'm saying? So then me, my girlfriend, seem like get this bitch, beat her ass, and then I'm like, no.
You gotta be professional.
Exactly. Gotta be professional.
You're not just the girlfriend, you're the assistant. You gotta
watch
out for him more than you gotta watch out for yourself. Yeah, because in this industry, maybe you guys will agree, but like you really can't have too many feelings.
I'm like a data.
You gotta kind of be stonewall.
Yeah, you gotta be stoic.
So many people try to push your buttons when it comes to this shit, and it's like, and at the end of the day, you already. Like for me, I can tell that a person is not ready to be in the industry when they let the smallest shit get to their head, and then their emotions are guiding their actions, and it's not logical. It's like
that's true, because in the beginning when I started, I wanted to show him that I could, because like he was going through a tough time when I first met him, and he was like going through like people like basically using him, and he just was like, oh, these are my friends, and I'm like, they're not your friends. So me being me as a girl, and I see this shit, I'm just like, yo, like that's not what they are. So you need to leave them alone. There are people that's like, oh yeah, like he write me a song, and then you'll call them and be like, hey yo, like you're my friend, right? So hey, like you want a friend that you can be calling them and be like, hey, I need $20. I need to borrow $20. Those are not your friends. Like real friends will like do some shit for you, ride for you, and all that. I'm just saying in the industry ones, like, you want to be able to call them and ask them like friendship.
So what does a friendship look like in the industry? Because I've had my experience too where people try to use your situation or what you got, your assets, to their benefit.
Wow.
How do you go about creating that boundary?
So I say no. But I say no, but he can go. I say no. I say what you gonna give me is a reciprocation.
Yeah, it's gotta be give and take.
Or I'm gonna use you like you use me, and you don't want that.
And that's what I was gonna say. I'm more about reciprocation, right? You have to understand that
But I'm really
not every friendship is 50-50. Sometimes somebody can't contribute what you're actually worth. You know what I mean? And as a friend, it's your job to uplift. I think if you're around a good circle of people, you should be able to uplift certain people in their respective fields and be able to return that favor back. So, say for instance, right now, one of my friends is a photographer, right? We went out to a really crazy event. I said, hey girl, come bring a camera, I'm gonna get you in for free, right? She ended up shooting for some celebrities, right? And that's beneficial for me. Because now I'm like, hey, if you can go up inside of that situation, and now you're going off and getting clientele and doing what you gotta do. Later on, when I need that favor back, I'm gonna be like, yo, plug me. She's gonna be like, hey, come work with this person, or come work with that person. I'm in the studio with them today. So the best friendships are friendships where both people can simultaneously elevate each other. And I don't mind taking the hit. That doesn't mean that you go out and you just do a whole bunch of free stuff for people. No. And any and all of my friends, whatever you are. If I'm using you for something, if you're a video guy, I'm gonna be like, hey, I don't got everything today, but here's $100. Could you help me?
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, when you get up to a certain level, and I get up to a certain level, I'm gonna pay you what you weigh. You know what I mean? But in this situation, we both trying to elevate. So you let me know what I can help you do, and you gonna pay me for that. And I'm gonna let you know, what you can help me do, and I'm gonna pay you for that.
Yeah, and yeah, I'm gonna say something too because like we have a spiritualist. I would like to say her name is Shannon.
She's amazing.
She's amazing. And she's like that's a great reciprocation. Like like her, she's always helped us. And we reciprocate her in many ways, and we'll try to. If we don't have it, we're gonna reciprocate it in a different way. But I just wanted to put that out there. If y'all need a spiritualist, someone that can really help you, and like that's not no like voodoo person. No, she's not
She's
like
not
that.
cast a spell
She's
on
not.
my
No,
ass.
she's not gonna do that. She's basically like you call her, say you having like a problem, like, whatever you got,
Yeah.
and you can call her at like 3 in the morning, and she'll be like, oh my god, I'm having a panic attack. I don't understand. Like, oh my god, she'll be like, calm down. Tell me what's going on. And then you can talk to her and then she can give you the realest fucking shit. She has no filter. She's gonna tell you what it is. She's not gonna sugarcoat shit. So like literally she helped us in our relationship and our business. So
I'm gonna hit up Shannon, dude, because I'm going through some shit right now.
exactly,
that I
even
can
our
give
relationship,
insight, from an outside perspective. She's as good as you say she is.
it's a word of mouth, so that's what real friends they speak about you when you're not even in the mood. That's a good friend.
No, that's great. Yeah. No,
And that's the type of person I am.
Yeah, I feel like I'm kind of in that same boat. Like I work with a lot of people, and I'm always like when I listen, obviously, and whenever somebody needs something, I always be like, I got the guy.
Right. Oh, Eric.
For you. I got the person for you, and then we get you right because I don't do no half-ass shit. I don't work with part-time people. Like it's like it's either you're about it or you're not. And so I think that's kind of like what I think.
Right. And let me just say something like that.
Yeah, go for it.
So I feel like just to speak on that, that's what we get messed up on because we give so many people our arm. If someone asks for a hand, we'll give them an arm. It's because we know that we would like that to be reciprocated. Or let me give a clear example. Like someone will ask us for something, and then we'll make sure we're investing. So like say we do a song for someone, and they're like, oh, I just want this or whatever. And we'll like invest in them. We'll show them like no other people they've worked with, and then we would expect respect. We would expect like love and how that whole relationship is. If that makes sense. But if we don't get that, we just get them piecing out. That's it.
Yeah, and everybody's not that.
Yeah, not everybody's us. So we gotta. Sometimes we get stepped on because we do that.
You guys are nice.
We're so nice, right? Gullible. I'm sweating.
Nah.
I ain't gullible.
Okay, I'm sometimes I used to, but I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
You give people the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
I feel that. I do that too. I'm guilty of that. People,
Guilty.
because everybody deserves a chance, like you said. But once they fuck up that chance, then what?
Yeah. I wouldn't even say it's for me. It isn't even the benefit of the doubt. I'm just every single thing that I do inside of my life. Now that I've learned about manifestation and everything like that, everything I do in my life, I'm gonna give 100%. So it's not even me giving you the benefit of the doubt. This is me saying, hey, I'm gonna give you all of it.
Yeah, he does that a lot.
And if you can't reciprocate that back, if you can't do that, then I gotta cut you off now. But you can't say it's because I didn't try my best. You feel me? Even if I'm working on a song for you for free, if I was doing it for a homeboy or whatever, and they're like, yo, take me to a record label, whatever, I'm gonna give you my all. Because I want to see you succeed. Your success is my success. If we both got the same vision, and if we don't got the same vision, it doesn't matter when you leave, because it wasn't gonna affect me anyway.
Or let
you
me
know
know that you gonna leave.
Yeah, if you wanted to take the record that I did after I made you sound good and everything like that and go to somebody else, right, you're actually doing me a favor. Because, you know what I mean? I don't want to wait 10 years down the line and have you try to screw me over and take all my percentage and do A, B, C, and D.
Yeah.
Nah, bro, let me know now. And then you can go. And hopefully that person is going to put in the same amount of effort that I did. And once you realize that they don't, 9 times out of 10 people come back like, yo, bro, what's up? Can we get back into work again?
They were trying. They stay like it was somebody that hit him up, and I was like, "Let me see your phone. I'm about to text this person." And literally, this girl texted me like, "Hey, I see you doing it big, in LA. I was wondering if when I come out there, can we work together? And maybe like a trade for trade or something." Like I was like, "Sorry, unfortunately, this is his assistant. We cannot help you or work with you." It's like when we tried to hit you up 2 years ago, where your ass was like, you left us on scene. But now that you see that he did a couple songs, you know what I'm saying? Like some songs with some major artists. Now you want to, that text that they hit you. Oh, long time no see. It's like no, peace out. Like
I need an assistant like you, honestly.
Me.
I'm like my own assistant, and sometimes my filter ain't there. Like I'm like, oh, you know what? No, I fucks with you, but then somebody else will be like, yo, what? I'm like,
I would say even if you're not dating the person, it's always good to have a female as an assistant because women and men view things from two completely different realities.
They your mama.
You know what I mean? And I've learned like we started going up when we started working together effectively as a team.
Or you started listening to me.
When I started listening, because I had a lot of stuff that I had to learn. Like I had to get out of my own head.
As a guy, you don't want to listen because we think we know everything and shit, but we do not. And I agree with that. Women's intuition. We talked about this on this podcast. The very podcast. This shit that women have that men just do not have.
Facts.
And whatever that is, I can't give it a name, but I'm pretty sure it's
I know exactly what it is.
somewhere.
What it is that we're conditioned differently from birth. You know what I mean? Women are constantly conditioned like, hey, you have to find the best. It's a survival tactic. They're like, you have to find the best possible mate, right? So once a woman is fully mature, they can read through bullshit like it's a lie detector built inside of their head. You know what I mean? They can look at a guy as he's walking up to them and be like, nah, you ain't the one.
Yeah, it's like I know you lying. Like it's the way you walking up to me. It's the way you about to say something, and like I know where you was at last.
Yeah,
I looked at your Instagram story, and your cousin Instagram story, and your cousin and I already know you. So it's like you might as well just back your shit.
Yeah, and men, we're not built like that, right? We're built from more like, hey, we have to protect things from the outside. We're not inside of our own heads. Yeah. We're like, hey, if a mountain lion is coming here right now, what the fuck you gonna do? You know?
Exactly.
And if you can't detect it, then you don't deserve no pussy. So you need to go stand in that corner and let the real men handle this in this corner.
Yeah,
so, and because we're built like that, I feel like we are at such a disadvantage when it comes to anything that's mental. You know? When it comes to physical, yeah, you know what I mean? We can be like, hey, I'm gonna handle this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. When it comes to mental, and you have people playing with your emotions and narcissists and stuff like that, men are like fucking bait.
You know what I'm saying? I actually agree with that because men have, like you said, have been conditioned to like not understand their emotions. Like
completely agree.
sometimes I walk throughout the day and I'm trying to identify how I'm feeling. feeling
why
like
you
that.
feeling that way?
I'm
You
like,
know?
what is this? But, and it's like, I'll talk to someone and they'll be like, yo, I don't know. But then as soon as you talk to a girl, they're like, oh no, you're feeling anxious.
Exactly.
I'm like, I'm not.
You have
feeling
anxiety.
anxious. Oh, yes, you are. I'm like, oh, maybe you're right. Maybe I am. And then
Exactly.
because they have, it's emotional intelligence. They have that. We're more like street smart. Like we can talk our way out of shit. Women are street smart too, but that's kind of like, you know, a whole different ballgame. Like women, especially if they're raised by a single parent, or you know they didn't have a father in their life. Oof.
And that's why the balance is so important. That's why there's a lot of women, I feel like, in the music industry that end up getting used or like end up getting passed around other people in ABCD. Because on the flip side of that, I believe that a lot of women's weaknesses are that since everything that they do comes from the brain and everything that they run is mostly on the background, they don't know anything about protecting themselves in the physical world or the physical world. So they get themselves into situations where, hey, there's 3 guys in the room and I'm gonna lock the door behind me and what are you gonna do? Nothing. Right? Even though you have
that's a very common for models.
super common. Super
Dude,
common.
There's like, I don't know if you guys heard about, I forgot what his name is, I don't even care to know his name, but he was like a well-known photographer, shot the Kardashians and all of them, but he was like out here like sexually abusing women just because he was a photographer. Like, that shit right there. Men don't get themselves in those situations.
Never.
Fuck no.
Never.
So who gets in them? It's the women?
It's
A
women.
lot of women get into
themselves.
situations like that. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were about to say something else.
But it's because I feel like that's where the weakness will be now. They don't have that physical background or know about physical. They know more about emotional and mental things. So
I think
it's important to have both dynamics inside of that relationship. To say, for instance, now I constantly have her being my infrared vision that I can't see. You know what I mean? It's scoping off all the emotional things that I can't hit. And people know that if they step the wrong way, they're going to get my foot up there. You know what I mean? So it's both. You feel what I mean?
Oh yeah, I feel that.
He's a Pisces, Aries, he's Squeeze. Y'all ain't ready for the heat.
I don't know what that
We got the Virgo right here. Y'all ain't ready for the heat. 2 Virgos over here.
I don't know what that means.
Y'all ain't just ready with the smoke. They got the
Bro,
smoke.
Jace. KD.
You can't hear me?
KD.
What's he
He started blowing up the live. Talking about, yo, shawty, we gonna see you.
Whatever, bro.
Now he's blowing up my DMs.
Whatever,
Oh.
bro. Keep your problems to yourself, bro. We in the middle of something, bro.
See, that's a perfect example of what I'm talking about, though. You know?
Wait, what did he say?
Yeah, clearly that person.
Don't give that any mind. That's really like nothing.
Wait, what
has
happened?
nothing to do with what we're talking about. Really has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
Okay.
But like, no, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. People, it's like this emotion, bro. It's like think logically before you go ahead and start. You letting your emotions kind of like.
Now, if you have a girl there, she feel like it's probably not the best move for you to make.
Exactly, but you're really not doing the right thing. That's all I'm gonna say. Let's shift topics.
Yeah,
That shit got me on some weird vibe. But you said you're in cosmetology school.
Yep, and body school.
So what do you learn in cosmetology? That sounds like some Hogwarts shit.
Well, it's everything. It's everything. You learn how to do hair, nails, facials.
Why not?
Yeah. Yeah, I know a lot. Yeah, so it's a lot.
It's so much deeper than that, though.
I had to do my work. I had to do my homework one day, and I was like, you know what? I'm tired.
Is there like chemicals you gotta learn, or is it just
Dyeing
strictly like
hair,
products?
That's what I was literally
that's
just
one
gonna
thing
say.
that was
It's
really hard for me, dyeing hair. Like when I was in school. But I don't know.
There's so many chemicals and what direction you have to cut hair.
He knows.
So many
Dyeing
deep
practice.
things that go into it. I was like, I never thought that cutting hair was this different.
It's
You
this
know what I'm
technical. I
saying?
thought you just had to take the clippers and just.
Yeah,
That's
I ain't gonna
exactly-
lie either. Like I had I ran through like 5 doll heads, and like the same bitches on the side was running through 2. And I'm like, oh yeah, all my doll heads gone.
So
yeah.
is that like profitable? Is that like
Is it make
so?
money?
How many guys are in your classes? Let me ask you that.
Okay, so here's the because how it is
Yeah,
at
if
school.
you want some, you're in the cosmetology class.
Exactly. If you want some booty, right? No, it's a barbering side on one side, and then it's a girls cosmetology and esthetician. So everybody's in the own area.
So it's like beauty. So it sounds like you kind of made that shift from like the modeling to now you want to help. Because obviously you want to work with pretty people, right? You want to make people pretty.
I want to make people pretty. I got a story on that. Yeah, I want to make people pretty. she was paralyzed in her legs, and her husband had just died. So I would just come over and help her with her, no, before her husband died. Before her husband died, I was helping him, and he was always at work, and she was like always looking down. So I would just come over her house, I help her clean up, she'll give me like a couple dollars and stuff like that just to help her. But I was like, you know what, just keep your money. Let's go buy some stuff for your hair and makeup, because she said she hasn't went out since she was able to move her legs, which was like probably 5 years before that situation. I think it was like a disease that happened. Nothing really like the parts. But yeah, so we went to the Dollar Tree. We got some like makeup, and I did her hair and makeup, and then we made him dinner, and then I had ended up leaving. But I was like, so he's on his way home, stuff like that. She said I haven't got dressed for him since 5 years time. So we ended up just getting her a whole makeover, and then. I guess the next day she told me, she was like, girl, he rocked my world. I'm like, ah. And I was like, and in my head, I'm like, how the fuck did y'all fuck? Like, you know what I'm saying? But anyways, whatever. I was like, oh my God, that's good. She was like, yes, you made me feel beautiful. And then after that, I was just like, wow, like, that's like one situation that made me feel like I want to,
You're helping
people.
That's awesome. I never really thought of it like that. Have you thought of it like that? Or just by looking pretty,
I even thought I could make a guy look
like
pretty.
that shit will change their life, bro.
Yeah,
I never thought of it like that.
No, literally, well, y'all, like, you guys dating or have dated before. Girls do little things to even make you notice things, But when you're with somebody all the time, like, I have a experience with him. Like, sometimes I look like a man or a boy. Like, us girls, we be looking like a boy in a scallywag because we be with y'all all the time. And then when we get dressed up, it's like, oh yeah, you about to see this makeup. Yeah, this is you about to see me. And it's just like, we do a little thing, but sometimes I wish I could just look like this all day. But it takes some time. It takes some time to look beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really do much. I look fine.
Exactly. Guys just throw it at you. Like, that's it.
The best part about being a guy is that you know what your reality is from day one. You either like know that you're a good looking guy or you know that you're ugly, and based off of that, that's how you make your game plan. You know what I'm saying?
It's one thing. I think I have one thing going for me is I'm pretty tall. I'm 6'4". So I think I have that. Like, so I'm
You're like, yeah, I'm taller than you, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so I'm really
That's how I am. I used to be like that.
I feel you. I feel you.
Being tall. Shout out to all you tall people.
Right.
Short people, you don't get no love.
They used to be so mad at me. Like all my friends were short, and they would just look at me like, "Oh, let me see you so I'm gonna have to bend down with the picture, like,
oh, no.
ew."
I be
I'm like,
getting
no,
hunchback
bitch.
talking to these short
Exactly.
motherfuckers. Like, nah,
I'm
girl.
like, no, I'm not about to be 50 with a hunchback, bitch. I'm about to be slanky, tall, bitch.
Yeah.
See, being a guy that's under 6 feet, I had to learn that quickly in high school. But see, that's the best part. You see the reality. I'm like, hey, all the tall guys getting on the girls, I'm gonna hop on this piano room.
Oh yeah, bro. You
gonna finesse it, you know what I'm saying?
It's like that shit you said before. It's like the guy with the nicest voice ain't gonna be the best looking dude.
Exactly, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You gotta hustle.
You'll be like, yeah, bro.
So, what the hell? What's the body scope? Tell me a little bit about that.
Okay, so y'all ain't ready for this. Okay, so body sculpt is basically like it's all natural. It's really easy to lose weight loss. If you were in a house in quarantine, you try to lose that quarantine weight. This is the best for you. So basically, I got into body sculpting because I did it and I wanted to lose a couple edges.
Yeah.
So,
But you didn't want to go get surgery.
yeah, I did not want to go get surgery. So I was like, let me try this out. And I lost like a couple inches of my belly, and I was like, wow, this is really good. So, and it was natural. It's not pain, like it's nothing. It's really good. And basically, it's like 4 treatments. It's cavitation, vacuum therapy, radio frequency, and lipo laser.
Explain that what you
So, yeah. So you're like, what the hell is that?
Exactly.
So cavitation, it's a device. It melts the fat. So that's what it does. So the fat cells are little balls, and that's gonna melt it. It's painless.
And it's using radio.
Yeah, it's radio frequency. Yeah, so it's radio. It's like ultrasonic. So you go to the girl's pregnant, you just use that, but that's what it is. So yeah, cavitation melts the fat. The vacuum therapy, it brings all that fat from being melted, bring it down to where you pee at, sweat, and all that.
So
it
like,
contours the body too. You're making your body either an hourglass, or you're just pulling all that fat down. It can be for men and women, either.
And what you're really doing is you're actually you're making the fat cells burst.
Yup.
So once you make the fat cells burst, then you just vacuum it down to a certain part of your body, and then your body's like, I don't know what to do all this.
Right.
We're just gonna shit it out. You know what I
Exactly,
mean?
gonna shit her up here, put it dozen cycles. And then the radio frequency is basically it tightens it up. So people that like had a baby or they got loose skin, it tightens up that whole skin. It tightens it up. And then the lipo laser, you got stretch marks. You know, I love stretch marks. You know, you got some and you want to lighten it up, that's what it is. So
And for
those
guys,
are the
like a
four
lot of
treatments.
times, like guys when they work out, like you get really ripped, but then you don't have that six pack, right? Because it's hard to lose that extra belly fat. Body sculpting will get rid of that belly fat.
Yeah.
So it's not just for girls.
He's seen it, so he.
Yeah, I've seen it
I talked
firsthand.
his ear off about it.
So like, I mean, this is like honestly like one of the first times I'm hearing about it. How new is this?
It's been
been
out
around for a while,
for.
yeah.
It's been out. Let me tell you something. It's been out for a long time, but people try to get it confused because they don't know. They're like, "Oh, is it cool sculpting?" And then they make a face. I'm like, "Sis, it's not cool sculpting. Cool sculpting is basically a waste of money, honestly, because they make it seem like the way they advertise it is basically like they freeze the fat. If you have common sense, you can't freeze fat because when it defrosts, it's gonna make more fat. If that makes sense.
Okay.
Because it's like you can't freeze. Where is that unfrozen like fat gonna go?
You actually have to eliminate.
Yeah,
fat
exactly.
cells.
But this body sculpting radio, ultrasonic radio frequency, it's gonna melt it, and it's because of the heat waves and all that other stuff. It's not painless, like I said, and it's not cold sculpting. So if you don't know what body sculpting is, it is not cool sculpting because I would have said that. You know what I'm saying? I got you, but that's what it is. It ain't cool sculpting. Just because a lot of people get confused. They're like, oh, is it cool sculpting? It's not. I don't
She's
deal
a-
with ice at all.
So she's been doing it on me too, and mixed with the keto diet. I've also like 100 pounds over quarantine. You know.
Wow.
So it's
And how much does this cost?
Okay, so a lot of people charge $100 per thing. That's what it usually is. Right now, I have a sale. Let me tell you, you have to wave your pants up. So, basically, if you bring a friend, it's $60 each for 4 treatments. So you get all those 4 treatments. Not, oh yeah, you just get the capitation, you just get the melting fat. No, you get all 4
because normally it's $100 per
per treatment. You know what I mean?
Not even per session, per thing. So all
So
4
you-
of the things that remove the fat, tighten the skin, get your body right. She's doing everything.
I'm doing
Normally
everything.
somebody
For
would
$60.
You do that all at once.
All in one,
Yeah.
in one session.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
always.
normally you would have to schedule different sessions to get each individual
Yeah.
at $100 a pop. So you
Yeah.
really can't beat that.
Exactly.
Ladies, if you need your body done in the what you call it?
Body sculpting.
No, what you said it's natural.
Yes,
it is.
that's
The natural
It's
way.
painless.
You know, my girl Athena, she'll get you right.
Yeah.
It's,
And
it's
I got
not
a
too
deal.
late. Summer's midway.
It just basically started. Summer's all
I mean, we in Cali. Every day is practically
Exactly,
summer.
summer.
So.
You get those Dr. Miami results without the recovery time. You know what I'm saying?
exactly. You know what I'm saying? Wink, wink. But no, I do have a deal. About my body sculpted. It's sculpting that body on Instagram. We'll probably like drop it. In the,
Yeah.
And so if you bring a friend or your mom, your cousin, whatever, I'll charge you guys $60 each, and you guys get all 4 treatments. But if you come by yourself and you just want a day by yourself, you know what I'm saying? I'll just do $65 still all every day. So it's just a $5,
Discount.
Plus the
So, yeah.
space is great.
And the space is crazy. It's really relaxing.
Where do you guys do that?
Yeah.
We actually split up my recording studio. So we
Yeah,
have
so
a
I have it
whole-
on that side too.
Yeah, decked out studio, gold columns everywhere, fur white carpet, cloud ceilings. Yeah, all the way.
Yeah, so I do it there. It's Topanga, man, Chesterfield.
Shit.
So I'm local over here. And I do it men and women, so you try to or whoever y'all could.
I rock the dad bod. I just embrace it. I don't really care about how much I look in reality.
He was like, I'm
I
fine.
work. That's it. It's like you care about what I look like. That's on you.
You know what the crazy thing is? There are so many girls that are actually attracted to the dad bod
Hell yeah.
and would never come out publicly and say it. You know what I mean?
Women don't want to act like that. They don't like a perfect man, but in reality, the perfect man for them got a dad bod.
Exactly.
They hide.
And the
Because
fact
if you got a
that-
six pack, he don't give a fuck about you.
Yeah.
They know. They busy trying to keep that 6 packs. That's
yeah,
what's
they
going
at the
on.
gym with them gym sharks.
secret note for guys out there: once you hit that 30 mark, and you start going over there, if you establish inside your life, you can have the dab on, bro. It's attractive. Girls like it. So.
Get your ass in the gym. Before you be 60 years old trying to holler at 21. You know.
I mean, that's what I always told myself, I'm gonna be 60. I'm gonna try to rap at girls.
And that's why they don't use your ass to take all your money. That's what they do nowadays. They be taking all these young girls be taking the old man.
I feel like the dating curve is kind of flipped though. I feel like a 60-year-old guy has a really great chance with a 20-year-old girl. That's just me.
And I honestly,
There's
there's so many divorced
somebody-
women out there. There's so many divorced women out there that I'm pretty sure some young cats can bag like a cougar right now.
Facts.
Easily.
Facts.
Easily. Never before. This is guy talk. I'm just kidding.
Right, let me go ahead and get my ass
Nah. We'll move on.
I got something to say too about us girls with our sugar daddies.
What about
We get more money. If I had to compete with somebody, we get more money out here. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Yeah, I always
Sugar
think
babies.
it's hilarious. Like the girls on Instagram, they're just like, they don't got a job. But they in Mexico. Like, you don't got a job and you're in Mexico. The next thing you know, she's like somewhere else. She in Miami. I'm like, you know what you doing.
You saw a meme about that online, remember, with the Sandy one from SpongeBob?
Yeah.
There was a meme where like Sandy Cheeks said, "Oh, when she on EDD, but she in Mexico, you see her swallowing like a whole mouthful of hot."
Yes. Yeah, nah, facts. So I mean, but hey, that's something that, sex and money, that shit go hand in hand.
Facts. But do you, boo boo? You know what I mean? If you hustling out here, make sure you put it to the right place. There's
Come to my body scope and let me
If you got a sugar daddy, make sure you got a savings account.
Exactly.
Financial advice from the Jason motherfucker. So let's talk about another topic. So we're constantly networking, right? So there's kind of like, I would say, like, there's two types of places where you can be. You can be at the events, like networking events, or you can be at a party, right? Like where it's kind of like more lit, more social, more drinking, more strippers, all that shit. So how do you guys approach them the same? Do you guys approach them differently? Being entrepreneurs, being in the industry, how do you guys approach going to a networking event versus going to like a party?
That's more her stuff. She got this on that. Go for it, baby.
I don't know where to start. Come in.
This is your whole science. You know
So
what I mean?
you guys are planning on going somewhere tonight?
Yes.
So what's your game plan for tonight?
So it's a celebrity birthday party. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's a celebrity party, so I don't know what's gonna happen when we get there. We just try to network and just try to have a good time. I told her we went to the Kid Leroy concert yesterday, and it was kind of like, we believe in angelic numbers, so once I see the number, I'm like, you know what, it's meant to go. So that's kind of one of the things for
What was
me.
it, like 444?
555.
Okay.
And I can read off what that was at
Minus
that time.
777. We have
No, mine is 333. His is 777. Obviously, that's a
Mine's
shame.
444. That's why I asked.
Yeah. So I see 555 at that time, 555, and we kind of almost gave up. So I was like, oh shit, it's 555. Maybe it's not. So I read it, and it said a change is occurring. The universe is moving things around. You see this number. So we ended up doing it. So we ended up just going to the concert, basically. And because we weren't going to go. The Kid Leroy show, it was amazing. He did an awesome job.
Justin Bieber came out there?
Oh, this man lies.
G
Said
Herbo?
Justin Bieber was there.
Crazy.
G Herbo Pology was on his way. So, yeah. And then who else was there? His friend Dave, I think. I'm sorry if I don't say his name, but he's crazy. He's an upcoming artist, and he's crazy. So, the guy that came with the gray shirt. Yeah, he was
So when you guys were at that event, was your goal to just have fun, or did you guys try chopping it up?
it happens. If we feel like, my thing is, like, if it happens, we're just gonna go have a good time. And if we see somebody or we feel like we should talk to them, we'll go talk to them. Like, hey, I'm Adina Desmayas. Hey, what do you do? Like, hey, let's get to know each other.
Yeah.
But also,
Let's get
you
to
should,
know.
to add to that, you should be going out to actually make genuine connections with people and not trying to network people so that you can get ahead, which are two completely different things. Perfect example is one day we were at In-N-Out, just chilling, and Eric Bellinger walks into the counter to go get a burger.
love Eric Bellinger.
She's super stan.
I've been listening to your music since like I was 15. So once I seen you, I was like, yo, like what the fuck?
But I would actually say that we've been able to build a genuine like friendship with Eric and been able to chill. He invites us over to his house once in a while to like work on music.
Yeah,
but
the studio.
Because we didn't apply so much pressure, I wasn't like, hey, Eric, like let me get on your album, bro. Let me do this, let me do that. When
He just listened to us. He talked to us.
But when an actual opportunity came up, you're able to capitalize on that relationship because there's a real opportunity. So there was an artist that was like, hey, I got a little bit of budget. I'm looking for a feature. Can you get Eric on? I was able to go to Eric because I'm not constantly in his ear like, bro, let me hop on. Can you do this? Can you do that? Can you do that? So he'll actually listen to me. Hey, bro, yeah, I'll at least consider it. Let me do it. And when you mix the fact that, hey, I'm bringing you a dope song too, and the artist has budget, I'm respecting your time. You know what I mean? That's how those situations actually flourish. Not from just meeting somebody and saying, hey, bro, let's get in the lab tomorrow. Can we get in the lab today? Can we get in the lab today? And they're going to feel like you're trying to use them, and it's the truth. You know?
Yeah.
So, what about tonight? I'll ask you all again about tonight. So, you, like,
We're just going out to have a good time.
Yeah, and then whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, because it's Tiz the Influence. Happy birthday.
Yeah.
So, he's a celebrity DJ. He's created a name for himself. And, when I noticed him, when I discovered him, he was always on P. Diddy's Instagram, and I think they're like related. I think that's his nephew, and he was always in like Cushion Combs and stuff like that. And then he was like DJ Pop Smoke one time, and then now that we've worked partnership with Gio Exotic Hookah. This is the one that's throwing the party. We worked with him, and that's his main DJ too. So they just throw parties together. So tonight he hit me up. He was like, "Hey, pull up to the party. It's his influence. It's his birthday today. Like, pull up, have a good time." And then usually his parties, it's some money. It's $100 at the door. Y'all know these LA parties, they're $100 at the door.
Yeah.
So, or 200, or 5K, 1K.
If you're a guy.
If you're a guy, I'm
You're a
sorry.
guy.
Girls, we free. You know, all you gotta do is throw it away. You know what I'm saying? Cute. So yeah, that's that. So these guys gotta pay them. So today, everybody's free before 11:30. So you know, we ain't at that time yet, but you know, that's we work with them.
So you utilize the opportunity when it's free.
All the time.
But not only that, but the only reason why we even got the invite to this was because
we built a relationship.
Yeah.
But also because he DM'd me, like he was just like, y'all pull up, like
yeah. And we're talking about our other homie Gio, right? And even in his situation, he's super dope guy. But he was promoting a party one time, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, hey bro, we need some people to come through. Like Soulful gonna come through tonight. Like what?
They will sit you right next to him, play the shit out. It was
so,
like, bro,
vice versa. There was no money exchange inside that transaction, right? But it was like, hey, bro, I have something of value that can help you out because I want to help you get somewhere. Can you bring something of value to help me out? So we came through. We brought 70 girls. We brought up 3 bottles. Let them keep 5 of them. We flipped all those for $800 each. You know, and we just had a really great relationship. So now
you still have your liquor brand, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm sponsored.
Sponsored by
yeah.
But yeah, so I brought like some of the bottles that I'm sponsored by, and we just turned up that way. But just having those relationships in where it's like, hey, you're not gaining anything from me, and I'm not gaining anything from you. We're helping each other get to a higher level. So now when he's off in the world doing whatever he's doing, if there's an event that he thinks is going to be popular, who's he going to call? The person who has his best interest at heart? Or, the person who's just like, hey, bro, can you sit me in VIP? Nah, he knows that if we come through, we got his back and he's going to have our back. And then anybody that we meet, we have that same type of relationship.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, but we know you be busy, Gio, so you know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't gonna say nothing else.
So, I just want to ask you guys one last thing. Do you guys have, after all the stuff that we talked about today, do you guys have any final thoughts, final remarks, to kind of close the show off? Maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll ask you a question. What, out of all your experiences, what advice did you give a younger woman who wants to pursue this type of work? Whether it's in the beauty, modeling, music, whatever.
Okay, so music, if you want to be an artist, stay true to yourself. I met this girl, right now we're going to work with her. She's really amazing. I don't know if I should say her name, but I really like her. she's just really hardworking, and she knows what she wants, and that kind of gives me like confidence in myself. And I'm gonna tell her that when I see her. I'm like, well, you can be confident. We need more girls like you. You know, so I just like stay true to yourself and stay grounded. You know, if you want to be music, don't be doing don't be sleeping around with nobody. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be real right now. Yeah. Yeah, they just want to use you because once you give in and sleep with them, they're just gonna be like, hey, I fucked that bitch. Like, yeah, she's a slut type shit. You know? And that goes for guys too. If you fuck a girl, she's gonna say that too. She gonna be like, you got smile to it. Or some shit like that. Like, don't fuck me. Fuck type shit.
People don't talk about that. Nobody say that happens all the time.
That part. That fucking part.
What? Any final remarks, though?
Yeah. The best advice that I could give anybody who's trying to break into music, at least, is do not be afraid of personal development, right? Even going back to what we're talking about, those girls who are sleeping around the clock and stuff like that. You're doing that because you haven't developed yourself enough as a businesswoman, right? You don't think that you can persuade somebody with something else besides your body. And that's the problem.
A lot of girls on Instagram showing their body, I don't like it, y'all need to stop.
So you have to understand that this is like the music business, right? For guys, I believe the equivalent of that would be, hey, you're out here doing 50 gazillion favors for people who are actually established, who have money that just don't want to pay you. But you're too afraid. You haven't developed your business acumen enough to say, no, this is what my stuff is valued at. You know what I mean? And I'm not doing anything unless you bring me here. Now, if you want to bargain with me, or you can still bring me some type of value and I'm willing to accept that, that's a different story than me just going out and just doing a whole bunch of favors for people. Learn how to fix your credit. If you don't have any credit, learn how to build your credit. At the same aspect, this is a business. So you have to learn how to manage your life, right? You need to get yourself on the schedule. Wake up every single morning, go to the gym. Have your credit ready. Learn how to be disciplined so that when these situations come and these opportunities come to you, you're not looking for these people to be your parents. You're looking to them so that you can gain from the opportunity that they're bringing to the table. And they should be gaining from that opportunity as well, not just you.
I hear that. I just want to say thank you so much for coming on to the show. You guys opened my eyes to a lot of different perspectives. You with your female perspective and all that, and you with your experience in the music industry. I feel like I think the viewers could definitely pull something away if they watch the whole episode. You talk about a lot of dope topics. Let them know where they can find you guys at on social media, if they can tap in or if they can't. Let them know where they can find you.
Nobody tap in. Y'all can hit me up at 777-777 MIDAS on IG. If you got any questions, we're down to help out. Stay true to our homies over here. We lit. So any advice y'all have for me is we can.
Cool.
Oh. Okay, so my Instagram is Athena.soha. I might change it this week.
So follow her while you can.
Yeah, it might just be Athena So Hot, but it's Athena.soha.
Okay. And you guys know me. I'm the host, Jason_MF on Instagram. Make sure you follow me. Make sure you follow them. If you're not following The Cave already, make sure you follow The Cave. Shout out to Kenny Hunter behind the camera, making it sound good and look good. And shout out to everybody watching, everybody who tuned in. Midnight Hour Records, their venue is opening up very soon. Make sure you guys check them out. If you guys got any music that